Good afternoon, Scott Redler, T3 Live. Welcome to today's recap. So we got a little bit of follow through to yesterday's reversal. We had the reversal in the SPX, and we had that really potent reversal in tech and the Qs. And then today, you had some follow through. There wasn't follow through everywhere, but there was follow through in some spots, and there was follow through in the indices. So if you were looking for that day-and-a-half move, maybe you clipped it and said, okay, that's good. You know, we just retraced 50% of the move from the highs to the lows in the S&P. Spot to sell some, maybe even try some on the short side, just in case that yesterday's low wasn't the low, or we pack and fill a little bit. And then in technology, you know, who knows? Maybe you took some off or shorted, but whatever it is, there's been a lot of action. And today after the close, we were just talking on the virtual trading floor. And I'm like, you know, Google just had a big rally. I know we were discussing that perhaps ad sales could be down because I would think companies are probably spending more money with social, maybe on LinkedIn, maybe on Facebook, maybe on Twitter. And then lo and behold, you know, Google came out and it was up 20, now it's down 15. And then we're also talking about, oh, look at the big move in IBM. I talked about it in the morning call saying, you know what, it just went from 175 to 195. It's going to have to be really good to be sustained. And PS, that was a little bit weaker, and that's down after hours. So we'll see what happens with the futures tomorrow. So real quickly, take a look at the charts. Here you go to the S&P. And this is the big macro trend that we never got to test. Here was that accelerated trend that started the year, came into the intermediate, and then here is the recent range. So if you want to take a real close-up here, you will see here was, this never broke. Okay, this actually held this 181.50. And then you had this reversal above this little pivot, and then here is your follow through right back into this range. So now the question is, will it stay in this range for a little bit longer and build and show commitment, or will it potentially, you know, be some kind of surprise to the downside tomorrow? Who knows? I'd like to see it hold, digest a little bit up here, and prove that perhaps, you know, there's some commitment to this move off the lows, which at this point, I think we're only, what do we have, 1.5% off the highs here, and then everyone's been crying bloody murder. So maybe at this point, you know, a few inside days, and then we get a few better setups for continuation. We'll see. Tomorrow, you know, you will know 184.65 is today's gap. That's what you could have traded against, and then it took all day for that to take place. And we'll see what happens. As far as the Qs are concerned, the Qs gave you that red dog reversal yesterday. You know, I was drawing these trends, I think, this morning. Here is the macro trend, never really tested it. This was your accelerated trend that had broken the beginning of the year. And then this one actually broke the intermediate after this head and shoulders top, you know, formation. So then you go here, and you will see that, you know, yesterday you got your reversal at that 83.91, which was right here. And then if you took stock here versus the low, you got yourself a nice day-and-a-half move. If you stay for longer, hopefully you have less and clip some. Maybe you have a third left. Here is one, you know, little downtrend where it could have gotten back up to, and then we were talking, you know, will we get another lower high? You have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow between, you know, the weakness in Google and IBM. We'll see. If you're trading Google, okay, let's just go to it. GOOL. Big support would be right around where it held last time. So after hours, if you did get short with it up 20, here is, let's see, let me make this a little bit bigger. What's this low here? This is 530. So 530 is your support. And then you have the 200-day, which is 523. Let's see where it's trading right now. 5 minute. Okay, let's go to style. Let's go to time templates. Let's go West Coast, and you will see Google L. Oh, hold on. Darcy usually does this. Darcy, what do I have to do? 3 minute maybe. All right. Anyway, let's just go back. You have it on your screen if it's there. Here's your big support. Okay. Maybe you try and buy a little bit versus this. I don't know, but ultimately the numbers were a little light, and it actually rallied up into it, so it had to be good. And then you go to IBM. Also, look at the size of this move in IBM from 175 all the way up to 197-ish. Why wouldn't you take some off if you held it? This is why we don't take situations into earnings. And now I do believe after hours it's right back at the 200-day, which is around 189. So if you did get shorted or trading it after hours, this would be a spot that I would look for some major support right around 189 to maybe even 191. So somewhere around there. So check that out. This ascending channel will be broken, and this is where we'll see it tomorrow and see what type of move it happens. As far as Bank of America, they had so many different things that people were looking at, and whether it was whether the litigation is going to come back, blah blah blah. Here, just on a chart basis, this was your breakout failure. That was when I think some people pulled the trigger to get out of the way. Here was another one, and then I know I took some calls into earnings. I think they were 46 cents. I sold them this morning at 20 cents in the first 3 minutes, lost half, but that's fine. Now I'll figure out if it could build right above this, and then at some point, maybe it gets going again. Until then, I need a little bit more data. I think it's going to just be in the penalty box on the side for a little bit, and then we'll figure out if there's a trade. See, like the same type of situation as JP Morgan. It's in the penalty box right now. Big move lower after earnings. Trying to hold here. Maybe in the coming sessions there's a trade back into this gap, but the longer it stays below this area, the higher the probability it can continue to the downside, and that wouldn't be great for the market. Facebook is down a little bit after hours because the ad spending. It'll be interesting to see what the analysts say. I think that money is getting spent there versus somewhere like a Google. Here is this inside range, and here's a little bit higher. See if it holds today's low. And then if for some reason, the money comes a little bit back to Facebook because they think this is where the spending could be, above 60-40, and then there you get a little bit of a move. I was trying to talk about patterns that looked great today or this or that, and I still can't find that many patterns that look like they're breaking like descending channels that can give you a powerful day one that can continue. We had the reversal trade in tech yesterday in the S&P and a little bit of follow through, but in some stocks, especially in those arenas, they're not so great. We were talking about Solar City because I'm like, oh, maybe this time something changes, where it was as high as 85, so at 55, 35 points lower, maybe you can get more than one day. So, here's this like descending channel, poked its head above the prior day high, so it seems like it could get going again. It tried it here, and this was then, I remember being long this day, and then you had a few seconds to get out before that happened. So the question is, how many times could it do it? It also did it here. Remember when it poked its head above this high here and then failed, but here you are again, pretty nasty discount. At some point you would think maybe you get a little retracement back up to the 21-day, but it doesn't have to happen. Today was your first green day. We'll see. Maybe they buy the solars tomorrow if there's some weakness in some of the other high betas. FSLR really, hanging around but not really doing too much. I guess you could, draw your little line here. This was one pivot, there's your other, and it's going to have to clear this in order to, get a little bit better. Someone asked me to look at the GLD. GLD, what a disaster this gap down was. So here's your small ascending channel that it broke below, and now you have a little range here. At some point, maybe it tries to fill a portion of the gap. Hopefully for us, if you're looking for that to happen, it happens intraday. So write down this pivot, which is 125.70. Very choppy, very random, very erratic. I haven't really been trading much of the GLD because of that. I know for me, I tried getting a nice trade when it broke here, which we did the options on, and then we tried again pretty much after this big pull-in, once it cleared this 124, but ultimately, not saying there's a lot of easier money out there because it's far from easy out there, but here's your gap. See if the gap controls it or if it tries to get in there for a trade too. What else was going on today? Let's see, Netflix, really not much to talk about there. This is the same type of thing, like you don't know where it's going to stop. So here is the little reversal, and here is your 4-day pivot. Kind of clear this for a trade, and this is what we're in the market for lately, for this type of move. But it's tried it a few times. It tried it here and failed, tried it here and failed. So who knows, maybe it's low enough, right? 320 from 445, but these are not very exciting type of trades. I wish there were more of them, and everyone's like, you keep talking about the red dog reversal, the H pattern. Those are the two tactics that's been working, where You know, you could buy them on the lows. It comes back above a prior low. You get a move, sometimes just for the day, sometimes a day and a half. That's been working. And then you have to have patterns build, and then and then you have the day and a half trade, and then the half day rolls over, and then maybe you short some resistance, it starts going down, you have a good price, and then if it happens to break the prior day low, then you get some follow through, but at least you're not just shorting it at the prior day low, you're shorting it into some strength, so you get good prices. So those are the two types of trades without trying to make it too complicated. I know some people are like, red dog, was yesterday the low? At this point, I don't know. We're going to have to see if we could maybe digest the S&P above today's gap. We digest above this gap for a few sessions, some charts build, maybe. As far as high beta tech, it's very mixed. It's what we said in the 2014 report. It's going to be very mixed as far as stocks, and you're starting to see very mixed within groups. You know, like even like the banks, like everyone started getting all bullish on Citigroup. Look at the pattern of Citigroup. It's still nothing. Okay, what do you have here to trade with Citigroup? You have a gap. Okay, and now you have 2-day support. And today it was just, it held. So maybe with some time you get a move. It's still below the 200-day. Nothing so compelling there. JP Morgan, nothing really so compelling here. Maybe we get a trade into there. Where the money's been is the XLE. You know, we had it off the charts. I think, what was it, on Monday? Showed the strength here. And it broke out. Did I play any of these names? No. But anyway, at highs here, this is where the strength has been. You could look at XOM. I think we had it on off the charts right around here. There's your follow through. Congratulations if you were there. Schlumberger has been strong at highs. See Halliburton, strong at highs. So, you know, I guess shame on me for not being in the XLE in the energy group or in the utilities. But again, that's not where I concentrate. So if you can't be everywhere and learn the action and everywhere. So, you know, in high beta, high growth, the bios, I've tried to be out of the way and take decent trades, you know, as far as when they're off the lows for that type of RDR. And then maybe, you know, this week I actually, well, you know, coming into the last week, I've been trying to make some money short, which has worked as well. So flexibility without having too much risk. So tomorrow we'll see what happens with Google and IBM. They're both down after hours, rightly so. We'll see if the futures go down with it. I did short the spiders right on the close, and then when I saw Google, I shorted a little bit more. So we'll see tomorrow. You know, you can make a little bit of money there, and then see where they hold to see if they have commitment. And that's the type of market we're in right now. It's like a patience man's game. You have to pick those compelling spots and go after them when it happens. You can't really think about it too much. If the trade's there and your little voice says go for it, you go for it. Maybe do it with less size, because if you blink, you miss it. Like today, I came in with a lot of longs, and what I do is I sell a third while they're up. So this way I book some gains, and then usually if they start to go red, I just get out of the way. And I came in today long, LinkedIn and Facebook and Yelp, and you know, a lot of even what was it, Coors. And they were all up, so you sell them and then you move on. A lot of them went red within the first 5 minutes. It's just the way it is. And then they put in a pivot low in the first 60 minutes, and then if you want to buy some back, and then they, you know, hold the majority yesterday, you stay with them, or you just say that was that trade and what's next. And I wish there was more to report. It's what's today? Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow's the last day of the week. We have claims. We have option expiration, which never is a great day, and we'll see what happens next. Keep trying to get those green days. Try not to do too much in the first 30 minutes. I know some people on my desk were trying to buy in the first 30 minutes and didn't give it the time to digest because of the travel range. Think about the S&P yesterday, from 181.5 all the way up to, you know, 185 and change. It takes time to digest it. So if you tried it too many times in the first half an hour, chances are you didn't stick around for what wound up being, you know, a decent move. You go to the 5-minute chart, and really, you know, you had your gap up. Let's get the time template off, just to show, like, here's your gap up. I think right around here, that's when we tweeted the chart, and I said, okay, you know, lots of things went red, but we're holding a decent amount of the gap. Maybe buy versus this pivot, which was 184.68, and from there, you know, you didn't have a barn burner move, but 85 to 86.13 is a dollar in the spiders, and it pretty much trended all day. So here was they tried to sell it down, And this was your trend from the low yesterday. Remember, we showed how you see commitment. So this was when it broke this descending channel, traded above this resistance, held higher, and then it trended up, gapped up, take some profits, couldn't sell it down, couldn't fill the gap. Maybe you bought right here versus that, and then you just let it sit all day. But if you bought here, or you bought here, and you bought here, and you bought too much, chances are you wind up frustrating yourself, and you got yourself out of the trade for what was a decent little follow-through. Not every stock looked like that, but that's what the spiders looked like. So in closing, it is, hopefully the bad weather is behind us. It's springtime. Have a smile on your face. You're going to have a nice 3-day weekend with hopefully a holiday if you're celebrating Passover. I hope the Seder was good if you're getting ready to go into Easter. Enjoy your family. I will not be doing the morning call tomorrow. It will be John Darcy, and I know he's got a lot of fans out there, so they'll be happy to see him. It will be a long-form version also, not just the morning call express like we do on Friday. And keep making progress. If you're not having success, you got to change. You got to evolve. You got to stop complaining. You have to stop with the frustration, because all those things are not going to get you anyway or anywhere. It's just going to be the small changes that give you a more positive outlook, that'll get you your green P&L, that'll make you feel better to get you the bigger P&L and then get you back where it is you might have been months ago. Have a great night. I will see you on Monday.